I'm Danielle, and I am Julia's teammate slash best friend.
Andy Vanis, I'm the athletic trainer for the volleyball team.
My name's Evan Alexander, and I'm friends with Julia.
Hi, my name is Megan Neal, and I'm Julia's teammate and friend.
Hi, I'm Julia's RA, and my name is Matthew Koba.
Hi, I'm Trevor Florendo, and I am Julia's strength and conditioning coach.
I read Julia's autobiography of Place.
I read Julia's Module 4 report.
I read Julia's Module 4 executive summary.
I read Julia's short story, Controlled Burn.
I had the opportunity to read Julia's Module 6 report.
I read Julia's blackout poem.
What is the purpose of this piece?
The purpose of this piece, to me, was to elaborate on a story through a place that no one really gets to see much. And this, I think, is Julia's way of showing the readers this story behind. She's got the backseat of her car, right? And no one really thinks twice about it until she elaborates about the gum and the milk, that it has a sense of humor that ties the whole entire thing together, and I loved it.
What is the purpose of this piece?
I think the purpose of the piece is to bring to light how we can tie in technology with protecting healthcare information and advancing healthcare.
What is the purpose of this piece?
Okay, so the purpose of this piece is to kind of bring awareness that there's a whole classism thing going on in Golden, because some people, it's kind of hard to tell sometimes.
What do you think the purpose of this piece is?
I think that the purpose of this piece is to show that people often find themselves contributing to their own pain and suffering.
What do you think the purpose of this piece is?
I think the purpose of this piece is to get a little bit more insight on what children think nowadays in the mindset of an adult. So getting to see sort of what the parallels are between how they think, how we think, and how maybe we can improve as adults to think better because of the ways that they think. It was touched upon in the report how some adults had some of the mindsets that children had, but in the grand scheme of things, children had more unrealistic ideas and maybe didn't think about the financial aspect or how it could actually affect others, but more just having fun with it. And I think that's something a lot of adults could learn a little bit more about how to practice.
What do you think the purpose of the piece is?
I think the purpose of the piece is that although our physical bodies are at rest, our minds and our spirits are always and constantly in flux of and chasing self-betterment. So although our physical body might be at rest, we are spiritually chasing self-betterment constantly.
How did this piece change your perspective?
I think this piece not only changed my perspective of a normal, ordinary place like the backseat of a car, but it also gave me multiple different perspectives. So I think the first one that Julia conveyed throughout this piece was humor. And backseat of the car, everyone just gets in and here we are, the backseat of the car. But Julia conveys that she listened to Duran Duran with her dad, and when she was in second grade, stuck the gum on the backseat of the car, and it just literally stuck throughout the rest of the car's life. And another perspective I think that she took on with this piece was also just the sense of home within this car. She has her dad, and every time she sees her dad in her car, she gets this feeling of security and warmth just by seeing her dad smile.
How did this piece change your perspective?
It's interesting because we use electronic medical records for a portion of our record keeping here, but we also still use some paper records, and it brings to light some things with security that you don't necessarily think about completely, but kind of stirs some thought on where the future is headed and what we need to do to access the information that we have available, but also keep it secure.
How did this piece change your perspective?
I guess I never really thought about the different like divide between North and South Golden, so I guess it just kind of informs me and kind of made me aware of what's going on.
How did this piece change your perspective?
Well, I've actually been to this place that Julia wrote about, so it was very interesting to see her take on it and the cigarette tray that is seen in this super nice hammocking spot.
How did this piece change your perspective?
I think the main thing that this piece changed my perspective on is that children's ideas are just as valuable as adults' ideas, and they should be validated and thought of and considered when making design changes for things like Clear Creek, because it's not just adults that enjoy that space. It's children, old people, adults, just any kind of age should be able to enjoy that space and have their ideas validated when designing it.
How did this piece change your perspective?
This piece changed my perspective on 50, 60 years from now, perhaps, when I'm not here anymore. It won't be my physical body that has left a legacy on this weight room and these student athletes, but rather my spiritual and emotional body and the lasting mark I've made on their young lives.